What's up, everyone? I'm Dan,
I'm Dave.
and welcome back to our show.
We have an exciting agenda today
Do we?
because we get to go outside.
We're going to go to a park today and watch some birds. We are going to be showcasing a collection of bird calls. So fun to play with, beautiful to look at.
Also on the show, we're going to talk about our time at the Nuremberg Toy Fair, where we met Ivan Moscovich.
Finally, to close it out, we are going to have Dave do something for losing last week's competition. This was an audience vote, YouTube comments. We went through and picked out one from...
We did not pick one out.
I went through and picked one out.
I went through the comments too, and I'm not at all nervous. Worst case scenario, I eat a hot chili pepper.
But that happens at the end, so stay tuned and let's get into it. February 2019, Dave, myself, and our colleague Adam Rubin traveled to Nuremberg, Germany.
It's an awesome little town.
Yeah, such a cool city. To attend the largest toy show, I think, in the world. This thing was insane. I don't even know how, well over 1,000 vendors.
But the coolest thing we did see were the bird calls.
The bird calls. Should we just bring them out?
From Francois Morel.
We
actually met the guy.
He is a true craftsman and the best of the best. He makes bird calls for birds all over the world. This particular set has 6 bird calls for American birds. We sell in our shop. There are many more, and we'll be adding more to the collection.
So some of these we might not see. I know that here in Boise, we don't see... Do we see nightingales? I don't know.
I don't think so.
We had a hard time spotting a nightingale, but I did see an American red robin this morning because we had a huge rainstorm last night, and the red robins were on my lawn this morning eating the worms. It was really cool.
We heard some today, actually, but it was at the toy fair where we first met Ivan Moscovich.
Segue into another artist.
Yeah, the late Ivan Moscovich, who sadly passed away last month at the young age of 96 years old, I believe he was. An amazing man, toy inventor, game designer,
author,
puzzle creator,
escape artist. Seriously, he escaped a concentration camp. Wild.
Yeah, twice, actually.
Twice. Look him up. His story is mind-blowing.
But it was at the fair we had the pleasure of meeting him and discovering his incredible artwork that he makes on his own invention called the harmonograph.
He pioneered this device, and we've all seen this type of art. If you've ever used a spirograph, it's pretty similar.
Incredible artwork. And it's completely mechanical. I mean, it's original because he built the machine. So
yeah, it's all analog.
We actually got a hold of the original prints, which are fairly large.
Yeah,
I would say
I would say they're as wide as the two of us.
Yeah, and we had a friend photograph them, super high resolution, and then we put them on the backs on the faces of all of these playing cards.
So there's 54 original works. Really cool. This one is awesome.
One of the ones we actually used. We suggest you pick up volume 3 of Tangram. There's the machine. I suggest you guys pick this up.
And it's really hard to reproduce these works.
Among the mix of electronic toys and stuffed animals, this definitely caught our eye. It was just very different. Puzzles. They're all handmade, and
yeah, you can really feel the craftsmanship. Oh.
This is a mallard, a duck. And we went out and tried to get ourselves some ducks.
All right, so we're here at a pond, and actually when we got here there were no ducks, which is a perfect chance to test this out. There are now ducks at this pond. This thing actually works. So I'm gonna give it another call. We saw them fly in. We didn't get it on camera, but you have to take my word for it. They were not here a few minutes ago.
Pretty cool.
Not a lot of ducks.
Well, we saw the baby ducks.
Well, they could have been baby geese since we did see 100 geese.
You actually had some success.
But Dave spoke earlier about seeing an American robin in his yard this morning, and they did talk back to us.
I know from experience at my own house that I see these guys hopping around my elm tree just outside my bedroom window all the time, and they're fairly easy to spot because they have a burnt orange or red belly. Chances are that's a robin. And here we have our little bird call, so I'm going to give it a test. Is that it? Wow, so cool. I'm trying to mimic the sound. It sort of fluctuates the pitch much better than I'm doing. I don't know if you can pick that up, but this is working. So the way I'm doing this is cupping the outermost, thickest part of the call and sort of wrapping my fingers around it, using it as sort of a speaker to amplify the sound.
Wouldn't it be crazy if like a bird just kind of showed up on our desk?
That would be awesome.
That'd be mind-blowing.
Up next we have the mourning dove. These are everywhere. I see and hear these almost every day. But yeah, let's give this one a go. This one's really unique how it's made because there's 3 openings. There's this little one which you blow into, and there's this top section which I think creates the whistle. But then there's this bottom piece.
You know what, I'm not expecting to see one or even hear one because it seems like they're more common in the city. For whatever reason, they like to perch on telephone wires, which is where I see them almost every day. But we'll give this a go nonetheless.
You know what's cool about this is it actually makes for a really nice display. You can like prop it up against a wall on a bookshelf.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, we usually have it behind us.
you could even hang it on a wall. It's like really interesting.
You know, the nightingale is, I love this little guy because it's one of the only ones that you don't blow into.
Oh yeah. So there's another version of this. They sell them everywhere from hardware stores to nurseries to toy stores.
Yeah, and all this is a piece of wood with some metal that rubs against the wood with there's some friction, and that's what makes the whistling or the bird song.
So nightingales, did you know they can make over 1,000 different sounds?
Wow,
It's crazy.
That explains.
And it's usually, sorry ladies,
it's usually the male.
It's usually the male
yeah.
that has the voice. Because they need it to attract the females.
Fair.
And they actually sing while they build their nest.
The creator has a character. It's fun watching him use these because he treats them as an instrument and he gets a variety of sounds. It's pretty amazing.
Comme ça. Et après, il va falloir couper. Et ensuite, bien sûr, je les travaille comme ça pour obtenir la corneille à la fin avec la lamelle de laiton dedans.
And they are like little instruments.
Yeah,
that's why it's fun
they
to just
are.
have in your house.
Is this supposed to be a key ring or something?
I guess it can be.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be like your part of your EDC.
Bird calls from Francois Morel. We sell this set in our shop and we'll be adding more of his calls to the site shortly. Trust us when we say they're extremely well made and just fun to play with. Let's give this set away. Not this set, because we've been putting our mouth on it. We'll give you a brand new set in the comments.
Say something interesting, an interesting fact about your favorite bird that...
Yeah, teach us something we don't know.
What I loved about this segment is we actually learned a lot about these birds.
Right.
And then we got to go in the wild.
I mean, that's my favorite part, and that's what excites me about future episodes of the show, because it's going to force us in a way to learn things we otherwise probably
we
wouldn't learn.
prior to this, we only really appreciated the design and craftsmanship of these bird calls, but now we can actually appreciate them for what they're intended for.
I bought this book last year in Alaska, and if you guys aren't familiar with Peterson's field guides, they're awesome. They're so well designed, and this one is, of course, on birds. So we learned a lot of information about the birds we were trying to seek today.
So if you remember from
Whoa!
last week's episode, Dan and I battled in a game or a match of balance, coordination, dexterity, all the things involved in solving this really interesting game where you have to align all the discs.
Of course, I won, not once, but
I mean, of course,
twice.
There we go.
Now you get it. He's had some practice.
I'm practicing.
We asked all of you to come up with something that he had to do live on the show. I went through and...
Can I just say, I feel like you're afraid to torture us, and I really appreciate
it's
that.
a lot of...
Someone wanted us to eat Vegemite.
A spoonful of hot sauce. One of the comments, which I thought was interesting, was do something from our first published set of lecture notes, as we called them back in the day. So we grew up doing magic, and about 23 years ago, we wrote a small booklet of original card tricks and flourishes and called it Artifice, Ruse, and Subterfuge in the Hands.
That's a fancy title.
It was a fancy title.
Wow.
You know what? And I have the original copy right here.
This is the original?
This is the original. I
Wow.
think this is the first one
We have it
off
printed?
our inkjet printer. This was the cover, nothing fancy. And
Well,
look,
no, we should say, though, that this
is the actual set.
it was very much inspired by the expert at the card table.
Yeah, $20.
$20, wow.
Not bad for how old were we?
16?
Yeah.
It would be so embarrassing to read this, right?
Oh my
As far
gosh.
as like our grammar and punctuation.
Wow, look at those cards. Sporting the Jerry's Nuggets. Colored photos.
Oh, I remember we actually went out and bought a digital camera to put this together. And didn't we print out the photos and then we glued them on, right? Because we didn't know how
and took photocopies.
and
This
then
was like
scanned it
pre-Photoshop.
because we
Yeah.
didn't know how to lay anything out in
Yeah, you're right. Because look, these
in,
are
like,
the
Word or whatever.
these are the original photos.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Comment was perform a trick from your first set of notes. This is fitting. This is an unreleased Smoke and Mirrors. And this,
I really preferred a broken in deck, but okay, fine.
sorry.
This is pretty vulnerable of me because I don't like performing magic tricks.
F4 cut.
Just gonna say.
Finger flicking fancy false cut. That is 4F.
Is that like the precursor to kryptonite?
That looks like kryptonite.
Wow.
I think this was what you called kryptonite before kryptonite.
Oh, right. I changed the name.
Airborne? No idea what that is.
That's
Oh.
Vertigo.
Molecule? No, I don't. That's Vertigo? Maybe you're right. That's a
Yeah.
wow. The Leno stall. Nice. How did you describe that in that?
I don't know.
This is fun to look through. You know, this is the first time I've flipped through this, and wow, look at those photos. I don't know if you can see that from
Oh, this is when we actually figured out that our initials are mirror images of each other.
Yeah.
So we're mirror twins. Look it up. It's a thing. But our initials, unbeknownst to our parents, this was not intentional.
DMB. So if you put that on a mirror, his is DWB. Card to mouth. All right. So
Wow.
Let's see what you got. Yeah, this is one where
These
you kind
cards
of
are
want
too fresh. Okay, say stop.
stop.
Right here.
Yep.
Okay, you could have stopped me anywhere, but you stopped me on the two of hearts. Wow. I haven't done this in a long time. Go ahead and push it in.
Whoa.
That one's kind of fun because they get
Yeah.
to see the misdirection.
That's true. It's actually a great trick. Classic effect, definitely not
We
our
didn't invent it.
creation. We just created the handling, I guess.
I feel like I'm off the hook.
Yeah, much better than eating spicy pepper.
That's a big bite.
I blame you guys for not coming up with something better.
Well, no, I think they're too nice.
They're
and
too nice.
Too respectful, and I appreciate that. But going forward,
Yeah.
sky's the limit. Last week, we said that this show would be about 13 shuffles you might have never seen before.
Clearly, it was not.
And the reason being is I got a blister on my thumb. No, yeah, these are shuffles that we haven't done in a number of years, over 10 years. And so we both feel another week preparing for the show is going to be to your benefit.
But
really
with
will
that
be.
said, we do have, I think we might have to push it back 2 weeks because next week we might have a surprise episode, which is super exciting.
Aren't all the episodes a surprise?
Or the 13 ways to shuffle a deck of cards.
Surprises are in store. So like Dan said, like and subscribe. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us.